Pectoralis major. The pectoral region is the anterior region in front of the thorax. It contains important structures which includes muscles like pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, serratus anterior and other respiratory muscles. And also the thorax contains of the breasts or the mammary glands. Now let's learn about the most important muscle in the pectoral region, that is pectoralis major. This muscle is the largest muscle in this pectoral region. It is a thin and fan-shaped muscle. Coming to the origin, it arises from two heads, a small clavicular head and a large sternocostal head. So this is the clavicular head and this is the sternocostal head. The clavicular head arises from the medial half of the anterior aspect of the clavicle. And the sternocostal head arises from the lateral half of the anterior surface of the sternum up to the 6th costal cartilage, medial parts of 2nd to 6th costal cartilages, and from the aponeurosis of the external oblique muscle. This is the origin of the pectoralis major. And coming to the insertion, the pectoralis major muscle is inserted by a U-shaped bilaminar tendon onto the lateral lip of the bicipital groove. So here we can note a bicipital groove on the lateral aspect of the humerus bone, and the pectoralis major is inserted by a U-shaped tendon onto the lateral lip of this bicipital groove. So we will learn about the insertion in detail in the second picture. So this is the origin of the pectoralis major muscle and the external oblique aponeurosis. This external oblique is the muscle of the abdomen. We will learn about it later. So the muscle pectoralis major originates as a clavicular head and the sternocostal head. So this is the clavicular head and from here starts the sternocostal head. As it is a fan-shaped muscle, so this is the course of the pectoralis major muscle. So this is the origin and this is the insertion. This fan muscle, while inserting, it forms a U-shaped tendon. So here somewhere will be the tendon near the insertion. The anterior lamina of this tendon is formed from the clavicular fibers, while the posterior lamina of the tendon is formed by the sternocostal and the aponeurotic fibers. So here will be the anterior lamina of the tendon and here comes the posterior lamina. These two laminas are continuous with each other inferiorly. The anterior lamina is thick and short while compared to the posterior lamina, which is thin and long. So the posterior lamina is thin and it is long. The lower aponeurotic fibers of this muscle are twisted and inserted, and the twisting of this muscle fiber till the insertion forms the rounded anterior axillary fold. The pectoralis major muscle, it is by the medial and the lateral pectoral nerves. The lateral are the C5 to C7 fibers and the medial being C8 and T1. So from these root values, we will get to know that C5 to T1 root values supplies the pectoralis major muscle. So the C5 to T1 forms the brachial plexus. So you should remember the pectoralis major and the pectoralis minor. These muscles are the only muscles of the upper limb which are supplied by the all 5 spinal fragments of the brachial plexus. It is the important point to note down. And coming to the actions of this muscle, the clavicular head flexes the arm, whereas the sternocostal head adducts and medially rotates the arm. You can remember, as while lifting a heavy rod, the clavicular head becomes prominent, and while attempting to depress the rod, the sternocostal head becomes prominent. You can remember the actions, as by attempting to lift a heavy rod, the clavicular head is prominent, and while attempting to depress the heavy rod, the sternocostal head becomes prominent. And in some congenital cases, the sternocostal part of this muscle is absent at the birth. This causes major weakness in the adduction and the medial rotation of the arm. So guys, this is all about the muscle pectoralis major, which is the largest thin fan shaped muscle. If you like this video, do subscribe to my channel.